Hey, everybody, welcome to Queen Comedy Podcast. It's James, and I wanted to come to you today because if you've been paying attention, I've been doing my 52 shows in 52 weeks challenge. That's the challenge I set out for myself at the beginning of the year. So far, I've been knocking them out, and the more that I knock them out, wouldn't you know, the more opportunities open up. Funny how that works, right? You set yourself up for something, and all of a sudden opportunities are showing up because what? Because you're putting in the work, right? And look, I know plenty of comedians who are like me, who put in the work, grind, grind, grind. Then you just get burnt for a little while, and you feel like, you know what? I'm just whatever comes, comes, and you kind of coast and sail for a little while. That happens, right? We go through these ups and downs. I know some dudes who've been grinding and grinding, and just one day, literally just quit. They just quit comedy. They're like, I've been doing it for this long, nothing has happened. I'm not doing all the stuff that I thought I was going to be doing at this point, and they quit. Now, there is kind of a roadmap to where you should be hitting milestones, right? Like obviously, your first year is about getting comfortable on stage. That's all it is. Get comfortable on stage, doing stand up, doing whatever. Year two, you're building your first 5 minutes. That's what you're doing. You're taking that time that you learned on stage. Now you're refining and building a 5 minute set. So at year three, you have a tight five that you're out showcasing while you're building another tight five, right? So these two things are happening back to back simultaneously. You're taking that tight five, you'll be able to be booked on more shows. You'll be able to go out there, that tight five, year three, and building the second tight five. Year four and year five are refining and tightening those two tight fives, maybe building another tight five, trying to get to about 10 to 15 minutes of tight material. You should be writing more, doing stuff. That means you'll be doing more shows. By year five, you should have somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes of material. Good material that you have honed and worked. That's where you should be at by year five. By the end of year five, that's what you should have, 15 to 20 minutes of material. Year five. Year 6 and 7 and 8 is you getting those middle spots, those feature spots, those 10-minute, 15, maybe if you're lucky, 20. Those spots is what you should be getting, right? Consistently. And I'm not saying every week. You'll probably be doing 5 minute spots, 7 minute spots, whatever. You should be getting 10 to 15 minute spots more often. And that's what'll be happening for you at years 6 and 7, right? That's where you'll be. Because you're not going to be using all that 15 minutes, but you'll be using those sets, and you'll be working in new material in there. You'll learn how to work new material on stage. This is where you're getting more comfortable. This is where you're doing more things. Now, years 8, 9, and 10, as you keep refining, building that, you should, by this point, be having who you are on stage, or at least a little better example. Maybe you're throwing some of those old jokes away from year 1 to 3, and you're building new stuff. Maybe you're figuring out who you are, what your voice is, what your perspective is, right? You're trying that stuff. By year 10, you should be kind of solid in what you are doing, who you are. That's year 10. That's a long time. I was just hanging out with, I'm not trying to name drop, but I was just hanging out with Sam Tripoli, great guy, who said year 10 is when you feel like you're ready to go get your PhD. That's the time you've already put in your time for your bachelor's in high school, right? You've worked on your master's these last couple of years. Now you're going to get your PhD. Now you're ready to go get your black belt, right? 10 years in, you're ready to go push. And here's the thing, I'm not there yet. So when he's saying this to me, he's been doing it a long time. And he's not the only one. Darren Carter also said at 10 years, that's when you're going to go, okay, I get it. I am ready to be this version of myself. I'm ready to be this comedian. I've done the work. This is my thesis, my PhD thesis. This is where I'm at. I'm ready to go, right? And I've heard this from multiple comedians, not just those two. A ton of other people have said that to me. I think Mike Black said it on an episode that I had back. Like, literally, there is the roadmap. Those first 10 years are just development time. Are there people that pop off sooner? Of course there are. But they are few and far between. That 10 years, if you go start talking to comedians who are headlining, touring, whatever, most of them are in that, are past that 10-year mark. They're in that 8 to 10 year, maybe whatever, or longer phase. They're not in year 1 through 3 or year 1 through 5. That's not happening that much. That is the development phase. That is working out. That's the triple A's. Okay. You're still working out triple A's in those 5 years. You're finally getting to the MLB, maybe later on in years 6 through 8 or 10. And then you're going to get to go to the All-Star games years 10 and 4 because you're an All-Sar. You earned it. You worked hard. You did one thing if you're doing that stuff. The reason I'm saying all this is because I have been grinding. There was a time in the LA comedy scene where every Monday, the patio at the Comedy Store was full of hundreds of comedians signing up for the potluck, full of it. And I was grinding and going every Monday religiously. I'd been going. Then after that, I would go over to the Improv, throw my name in the hat, try to get on their mic. Never got on there either, right? So those two things I tried for things. Then the pandemic hit, right? So you couldn't do that. Pandemic came back. They changed their process. You had to email in. I have my emails automated every Friday to go, automated for the next, I think now it's the next 6 or 8 weeks, because I had to, once you do it, just so you know, I'll explain to you. So you email and then you'll get a response Monday right before the potluck, I think around noon or 1 o'clock, saying, hey, you made it for this week's potluck. You need to go in. Actually, you know what? I'll pull up the email. How about that? How about that? I did post it on my Instagram too, if you guys want to check it out. But that's how big of a deal it is that I have been trying. And I know tons of comedians who have tried every single year to get into this potluck. Every Monday they were going out there, just grind. Right now, there are other ways to get into the potluck, which gets you into friends and family or whatever. Bruce Gray has been running the Sunday night potluck piece, like a Sunday night mic at the Comedy Store that you can go to. Again, you're up against tons of comedians, 30 plus, 50, 100, however. The other night, the time that I went, well, because they weren't doing it consistently, they would do it like they would shout it out every now and then. The time that I was doing it, I went there was a good 70 comedians there, you know, but you have one free name sign up, or you go buy drinks, and for every receipt you can write your name in there to get in the bucket. So now that's an investment, right? That's money and time investment of you sitting there through this whole thing, and you may never get called, right? That's hard. And it's actually, I hate to say it, it's a little demoralizing, honestly, as a comedian to have to go through that and do that thing, you know. It's tough. It hurts. It hurts your feelings, you know. So here you go. So this is the email I got on the 29th of January. So now we're a little while away. Congratulations. You have been selected for the Comedy Store Potluck Open Mic on Monday, January 29th, 2024. Please see the following instructions below. You'll sit at 12:57, so right before 1 o'clock. That's when you'll know on Monday that you have to be there. To check in by 6:30 with a valid ID for a spot on the lineup. Your slot will be assigned at 7. You have 3 minutes of stage time. You'll be lit at 2 minutes and have 1 minute to wrap up. Do not run the light. If you go over 3 minutes, you'll be ineligible for future potluck lineups. If you go over the time, they will never have you come back. Do you know how stressful that is? You have to take your best 245, 250, if you're lucky, minutes and do that. You think Kill Tony is tough, right? Kill Tony, they'll at least let you go a little bit longer. They'll buzz you, whatever. It's a big joke. There's nothing on stake there, right? There's nothing. I've been to a couple Kill Tonys. I've seen it. I have friends that have been on Kill Tony. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a make or break moment. This right here, you don't know how to handle the light properly, never welcome back again. That's the end. You never get another potluck. That is it. That's messed up. It's not messed up, but that's rough, man. That's tough, right? So from there, and I want to go because if none of you have checked it out, we've had my friend Paul Moongene on, you know, on the podcast, and he recently left Flappers. He was running Flappers University, and he does a newsletter. I'll put a link in the newsletter because I really love it and stuff. But he sends out a weekly newsletter, and this weekly newsletter, the one that came out on, let's see, when did this come out? January 18th. It came out this year. He has a newsletter, and the title is the LA Comedy Scheme. And so he talks about people trying to navigate the LA comedy scene, how hard it is sometimes. It feels like there's all this gatekeeping and a pyramid scheme. It feels rough. It feels tough. Like you never feel like you're getting it and stuff. And so he talks about each of the places' process. So here's a Comedy Store's process. He breaks it down. Comedy Store is one of the longest running clubs in the world. Before stand-up thing, there was the store. Great started out there because of Mitzi Shore. And you have all the here, people that we know, Leno, Letterman, Rogan, all that stuff. And there's 3 rooms: the main room, the original room, belly room. I am lucky enough that I've got to work in 2 of those rooms. The original room for the potluck and the belly room for Crack 'em Up Thursday. So I've had 2 opportunities to work at that club. I've worked in 2 of the rooms out of the 3. I would love to do the main room one day. That's my goal. I would love to be a paid regular. It takes forever. And then you do the audition. You email the potluck, find out if you made it. You do 3 minutes, and you hope someone important saw you. Now, what he says is newsflash, no one does. Now, for me, as I said, I am lucky enough to know a ton of people in the comedy store venue in that world. I know enough people that I had someone come up to me and go, "Hey," because I went up after, and I don't want to use this excuse. This is not an excuse. I went up after two people who did some very blue material, and I was fourth in the lineup. Right, so he did blue material. The crowd you could kind of feel was a little tense. I tried to start with my good opener that I know always gets laughs. It got laughs. Then I went into one of my stories that I know always gets laughs. And because I knew how much time that story took, it's the reason I chose that story. It's the reason I chose that joke. And I got laughs in the right spots and I got okay laughs, but I did not get the big laughs that I expected to get. So someone came out afterwards that I knew and said, "Hey man, that was okay. You did a good job. You just didn't kill the way they were supposed to. It's definitely not the worst set that I've ever seen, but it's not the best set. Keep coming up to potluck. We'll see if you can get up some more. Maybe there's more opportunities for you later. You know, you're funny. I know you're funny. I've seen you do stuff. Don't worry about it. Come back again." Right? I wasn't the booker. It wasn't whatever. It was another comedian that works the store that came up and said, "Hey, this is what's going on. You know, don't give up. Keep your chin up," type thing, which was good because I think they knew as I left the stage and went out the door. Because I walked off going, "That was terrible." It wasn't a. It was like the bomb. It was like a bomb. Where you're like, "Oh my gosh, that goes. Oh my gosh!" Like it wasn't that. It was like that was if most comedians early in their career, if they had done that and received the laughs and stuff that I did, would have been, "Hey, I did good," right? I did good. It wasn't great. I didn't kill, but I did good. I left there going, "Man, that was not good at all. That wasn't a bomb, right? It wasn't the worst. I didn't get any laugh. You know, it wasn't like I walked out there, no laughs, no whatever. I just didn't get the laughs that deserved, and I didn't get the laughs that I'm used to for those bits, right? That was just that. The first bits, boom, boom, got them. I was like, okay, I got my first two laughs. We're off to the races. Let's go. Again, I think for me, the big part of it was nerves, right? Of saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm in the OR. All these greats have been here before me." Like just that kind of headspace got to me. And the third one, and the second part was the 3 minutes. And if you go over, you'll never come back again, right? Those two pieces combined made me not as comfortable on stage as I normally am, right? That I'm being honest. So I did fail where I thought I would be more successful, and that's okay. But knowing that I'm doing 52 shows in 52 weeks and I'm working hard on this path, doing those things tells me that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm moving in the right direction. Now, just so you know, here you go. Uh, Paul's newsletter. We'll go back to the Comedy Store and Paul's newsletters. I know I'm jumping around. He said, "If you want to get in the mix faster, participate in roast battles is a real trick. By showcasing your ability to make fun of your peers, you will find a potential way in." Now, here's the thing. I'm a clean comedian. Most of you listening to this are probably clean comedians or want to be a clean comedian. So here's the thing. Roast battle is great. Roast battle. I love roast battle. I love watching roast battle. One, I don't write those kind of jokes. Can I? Yes. I grew up in a neighborhood where making fun of people was the norm. It's called the dozens. Have you ever heard of the dozens? It's a common thing in Black communities. That's the generation of the type of people I grew up around. Make fun of people. You learn to make fun of them back, or you just constantly get made fun of, and then you suck, right? So I'm used to roast that kind of stuff. Except for as a clean comedian, I don't do that. Now, have I thought about doing roast battle? Many times. Will I ever do roast battle? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Part of me wants to say, you know what? Just do it, James. Whatever happens, happens, right? What is the worst thing that they can say about me? Right? I look like I sell car insurance, right? I look like a white puppet. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's someone more creative than me, but you're not going to get much off of me, honestly. Like, they're not going to hurt me at all, like my feelings. But I am also worried about the flip side of that. I know that once I go into attack mode, right? If I'm like trying to actively make fun of someone, I can go ham, as the phrase goes. I can go ham. And that to me scares me a little bit. I don't want to be that guy. So I think make fun of my teeth. They can make fun of my sleep apnea. They can make fun of my little fat chin neck, right? I got a little extra fat. There's a lot of things you make fun of, but it's not something that like is really going to hurt me, you know? So back to Paul's thing. The only problem with the Comedy Store is it's filled with awful bringer shows ran by scum. That there are some bringer shows, not a lot, but there are. These non-past wannabe comics convince newer comics to convince their friends to give them money, all while being abusive to new comics through threatening text. These producers are scum, rats, pieces of trash who prey on the dreams of artists. So why does the store let them use the room? Because money. And newer comics don't realize the scam until it is too late. Stay away. I have heard too many comics tell me it hurts thinking about how they thought being a bringer would help. It doesn't. And there's the truth. Bringer shows are scams. Bringer shows are bad. There is a guy in LA who I will not say their name, but if you're an LA comedian, you have met them. They run a bunch of shows. And they will also do things like, hey, man, you should come out to South by Southwest and do comedy out in South by Southwest. And then you go, cool. How do I get that? Do you pay for the flights and lodging or whatever? And then they go radio silent. Or they go, hey, I want you to headline one of my shows. You go, great. What does it pay? Radio silence. Anyone who's charging money at the door for a show and not paying comedians is a scumbag. Those are harsh words. I'm sorry, but they are. If I've learned anything in my time of being a comedian, it's that we should not prey on each other. There are enough clubs and bookers and show producers who prey on us that we should not be preying on each other. We should be lifting each other up. So if you're a comedian who also produces shows or book shows and you're charging money for the show, you should be paying comedians. If not, you're a scumbag. End of story. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me for saying that. You're doing something wrong because all you're doing is you're providing the venue. These other people are bringing talent. Your job is to book the venue, book the show, help bring people, and ask comedians, hey guys, make sure you advertise so we can get a great show here. That's what you do. If you're charging, you should be paying comedians. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. If you're starting a new room, you're 1-2 weeks in, whatever you're doing it, you're not getting the turnout you want, you're still trying to grow, ask people, hey man, I'm trying to get the show to grow. I don't know how many people are going to come. I can't pay you. I can give you 10, 15 minutes. Be upfront then. Say, hey, I can't pay you, but I'd love to give you 10 to 15 minutes, right? Boom. There you go. That's how you do it. So that's fair, right? But if you've been doing a show for a year, 2 years, whatever, and you're charging money and you're making money off of it and you're not paying comedians, you're a scumbag. End of story. So, as I was saying, this 52 weeks of 52 shows has spun into other things, right? It's gotten me into places that I normally wouldn't. I honestly think, and maybe I'm wrong, I could be totally off base here. I honestly think me putting that out in the universe, me trying to get this to do these 52 shows in 52 weeks, opened up the opportunity for potluck, where I've been trying to do it for so long that I finally get my shot. Now, what happens after you do potluck? You can't apply for potluck for I think like 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that. They sent me the dates. So I can't apply again until sometime end of March, I think. Okay. No biggie. I did it once. I know how it feels. Now, if I get to do it again, I'm going to be prepared. How am I going to be prepared? Well, I'm going to write a lot of shorter jokes so I can get those bigger laughs faster, right? Right now, because I'm used to doing longer sets, I'm telling longer jokes. I'm not used to the 3-minute sets anymore. Haven't done those as much. The shortest set I've done recently was 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. And even then they were like, oh no, you can go to 10, right? So they were like, oh, you're doing 7. And it was 10. They gave me 10 as I was going up. Hey, yeah, go ahead, go do 10. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to the 5 and 3 minutes anymore. Am I building those? Yeah, but I'm building them to be part of a bigger set. So now it's a little bit different. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to write enough jokes for a 3-minute set. I'm going to write stuff that's from my voice, who I am, that then I can also expand to be bigger bits if I want to. And the story, right? Boom, 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 boom. These are the things. Here's how you know about me. Here's who I am, da, 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 and get those big laughs. That's what I'm going to do. And I honestly think, again, that this 52 weeks of 52 shows has been huge for me. That setting a goal and sticking to it has been huge for me. Is open doors. Is that more people reach out to me. It has more people say, dude, I see what you're doing. I appreciate that. I think this is amazing. Hey, I want to help you get those 52 shows. Hey, I want to help you do this thing. Oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. All these messages I've gotten. It is amazing to me that just saying, hey, this is my plan. this is what I'm going to do, and nothing's going to stop me, has opened the door. I'm booked through most of March already. March, guys. It's February now. March. So all February, all March. I'm now booking for April, May, June, right? That's what I'm looking for. Hey guys, who has April shows? Who has May shows? Who has June shows? Let's start booking those. I want to be ahead of all this stuff so that I'm booked out. I mean, like I said, my only goal was to do one show a week, basically, right? One show a week. Last week, after I did the potluck, I went and did another show on Tuesday. And then I did a private gig. So if you watch my Instagram, I did a private gig in a giant downtown luxury apartment condo complex thing on Wednesdays. 3 shows in 1 week, right? I'm not counting them as 3 shows towards 52. One of those shows counts for the 52. It's 1 show a week. That's the goal, right? Shout out to Kevin Alderman for that. Kevin Alderman, you are the man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much for that. Tarun Shetty for being a great friend and giving me feedback. It was amazing to work with him. It always is. Tarun is, it's so funny. I met Tarun through Kevin Alderman. Tarun came to my birthday dinner that we had, right, in Burbank. He came. I had met him for the first time. I enjoyed him. We hung out that night. We went and laughed. We went and did all this stuff. I immediately said, this guy is my friend. I want him to be my friend. I want to be friends with him. He's amazing. Not because he's a comedian. I didn't know as much about him and what he's done. I just knew I liked him. We meshed well. We laughed a lot. We got along. We understood each other. We are good. Guess what? I feel like we're friends. Tarun, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I feel like we're friends. So that's the thing. Goals, and here's the other part. Goals and letting people know your goals is huge. I used to think if I have a goal, I'll keep it to myself. I won't say it to anybody, right? Because it sounds weird. Hey guys, my goal this week is to do this, or my goal this year is whatever, right? And people make fun of that, right? You see all the memes out there, people making fun of people making New Year's resolutions. But here's the truth. If you don't make resolutions and you don't put it out in the universe and you don't tell other people about it, it's going to be harder to do. Me putting it out in the world, me telling people about it, me sharing it on social media, me telling people when I'm at shows, right? Me telling my friends, me telling you guys, all that stuff opened up so many doors. It's fantastic. It's great. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that happened. And the one thing that I've been trying for so many years to do happened. And I don't think it was by accident. I think it was because I've been putting it out in the universe. And I think that the universe saw it and said, hey, here's the opportunity. Now, when I say the universe, you can call it whatever you want. I say universe, I mean God, obviously. But when I put it out there, the Lord says, there you are. You're putting yourself on the line. You're showing the world who you are, showing the world what you want. And because you're being honest and true and faithful and doing everything that you should be doing, I'm going to give you that opportunity. I'm going to give you that reward, that moment, right? That's what I think. I don't know if it's true or not. But don't be afraid to put your resolutions out there. Don't be afraid to push to do the hard stuff that you've been putting off. I've been putting this off. I've been lazy. I'll be honest with you guys. I've been lazy. I've been putting it off and going, if a show happens, I'll do it. Oh, I haven't been booked in a week or so. Maybe I should reach out to people and see if I can get a booking in a couple of weeks. And I was doing private gigs or whatever, but I was doing shows. No offense. Private gigs are amazing. They pay well. They do whatever. But it's not the same. Like, they're not the same thing. Actually, by the way, I was going to say I do have a booking for April, but it's a private gig. So I'm not counting that in my, unless for some reason something happens and there's not another show that week, I'll count that as my 52, but I'm not otherwise counting that, just so you know. But I was doing a lot of private gigs and a lot of stuff like that, like smaller things. I want to do shows. I want to do more shows. I want to be out at more clubs, more places. I'm going to be doing a place I've never done that I've actually thought about doing and got scared to reach out to do. And thanks to Samantha Hale, I'm able to do it in a Hamburger Mary's show in LA. I'm going to be doing that. But I was scared, to be honest with you guys. I was scared. I'm like, what if they don't get my vibe? What if they don't like me? Who cares? Who cares? John DeResta said to me, go do it. This isn't brain surgery. Just go do it. Don't be scared. Who cares? I'm lucky. I'm so lucky to be surrounded by amazing people. And I'm here for you guys. So if you're having these second thoughts, if you're worried about yourself, if you're getting down, reach out to me. I got words for you. I'll help you. I'll do whatever I can to help you. That's what I'm for. That's what this is for. This podcast is not for me to make money and be great and everybody know me. This podcast is to help you through my lessons, my ups and downs, my trials, my experiences. If I can help you overcome those and not have to go through them, dude, I'm all about it. If Paul's newsletter that I'm going to put in this show notes, if Paul's newsletter can make your life a little bit easier as a comedian, read it, use it. It helped me when he was at Flappers and he was sending out the weekly newsletter. I was reading it. He would get a text from me almost every week. Dude, this newsletter was great. Something I needed to hear. I've been struggling with X, Y, and Z. Thank you so much. Right? Ask Paul. He probably got more texts from me about newsletters than anything else. He's like my brother. I appreciate him so much. David Studebaker. Anytime I have issues, I text him, hey man, this is the thing. Responds like a brother. Darren Carter, like a big brother. You know what I'm saying? All these things are important. It's very, very, very important that you put it out there. It's very, very important that you try to live and follow your goals. Do what you need to do. Be the best version of yourself you can be. Do all that you can do to do and be the best comedian and do the best amount of comedy that you can do. Don't get down. Go out there and tell people what your goals are. Make those goals. If you didn't make them at the beginning of the year, make them right now. Do them. As Shia LaBeouf would say, just do it. Just do it, right? Just do it. Just go do it. I appreciate you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys. I hope that you know that. I hope you know that you're appreciated. The fact that you're taking the step to go be a comedian is huge. The fact that you're putting yourself out there on stage is huge. Go do it. I'm James Creviston, or JD Creviston. This is the Queen Comedy Podcast. Let's keep it going. Let's make this year the year that you achieve all the things you want to achieve. Because this is the year that I'm going to achieve my 52 weeks of 52 shows. And next year, I'm going to up that ante. And every year after that, I'm going to keep upping that ante. I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to get so much better because I'm putting in the time and making the commitment. Make that commitment with me. Get out there. Get on stage. Do the things you need to do. Talk to you soon. Please like, subscribe. If you haven't checked out Funny Money, if you haven't checked out the Funny Money podcast, go check it out. It's on Substack. There are free pieces. The podcast is not free. There are free things that I write every week. Every Tuesday, the free one comes out. Every Thursday, the paid podcast and a paid letter goes out. Sign up. Get it. $5 a month or $50 for the year. And I guarantee you with the whoppers that are coming out of there, bro, they're worth the $50. Just pay the 50. Pay the 50 and be ready. Be ready to make this your year. Be ready to take that information and make it your year. It's coming. This is the year for you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.